I am Tom Minahan. I'm an emergency physician. I'm a father of 4, and I have a 11-year-old daughter with intractable epilepsy. My daughter Mallory started suffering seizures at 14 months old. We put her on a medication at that age. In the last 10 years, she's been on 12 different medications. We have no true knowledge of how much damage her brain has had from all these different drugs in her system. Granted, some people take 1 or 2 of those medications and do fine. They get the rest of their life. They have no more seizures. They do great in life. It works for some people, but for some it doesn't. And those that it doesn't, a parent wants to keep searching. I remember one morning we started on a medication. She'd been on it for about 3 weeks. She comes down the steps and she's sitting there and she's trembling like an alcoholic in withdrawal. It was the new medication. As your dad and the doctor at the same time sitting there looking, she's seizing. What can I do? You know, I can be angry and be frustrated, be disappointed, feel like I'm a failure. Is she a failure? All kinds of emotions. You just sit and you write it out, try to distract yourself. She'll see it's for about a minute and then it'll be over. And try to get her to sleep. And then think, how can I prevent the next one? And then the next one. So a cousin of mine says, you gotta watch this special on TV about marijuana and kids with epilepsy. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm an ER doctor. Marijuana is used by everybody practically, as far as I know, to get high. I get it. People get high, I get it. I see a lot of people overdoing drugs all the time. People smoke marijuana in the ER all the time. I get it. So he says, watch this special. So I watched this special and I'm like, what do I got to lose? The incidence of death from marijuana use is 0. No one's ever died from an overdose of marijuana. What do I got to lose? So when you see this video of a kid in Colorado and you start researching it and you hear about this guy up in Modesto and this kid over in Glendale, and it's like, wow, there's a lot more kids out there doing this. What do I got to lose? I've got nothing to lose, because at this point, 30 to 40 a month is not functional with a kid who's going to grow up and be independent by any means. So recently we go see our specialist, probably the world-renowned specialist when it comes to this type of treatment in epilepsy, and he says you could try this one new medication, or you could try cannabis. He says, but cannabis you can't use, I'm not allowed to prescribe it, not in my state. It's not in California. And so we end up looking at this other medication. The medication causes death by shutting down your bone marrow. So you have to have blood drawn every 2 to 4 weeks. So let me see. I'm gonna take my 11-year-old kid, I'm gonna take her to the lab every 2 to 4 weeks to watch her blood, make sure it doesn't change and she's not gonna die on me from this medication. Or try something that is safe. It may not work, but what I got to lose? So in medical marijuana, people use it typically to get high, I understand. In that, the chemical that gets you high is THC. There's another compound called CBD, cannabidiol. Cannabidiol is thought to have the properties that stop epilepsy. It's not really sure if it's truly just the pure cannabidiol or if it's the other chemicals in the plant also. But they know that the THC you really don't need much of. If you need any of, the science isn't really clear on. But the CBD is thought to stop the seizures. So you need a plant, and plants are grown with low THC and high CBD versus what you buy in the local dispensary, high THC and low CBD. Trying to find the medication was a disaster. So I'm a physician. Can I have my daughter on weed? Does she smoke it? I didn't know. I honestly didn't know when someone said marijuana in epilepsy. I'm like, I'm not gonna have my 11-year-old smoke. So I went and looked at it and it's an oil. How simple, okay. Now how do you get it? You can't get it. You have to be a resident of Colorado to get this special strain. So what's the next best thing? So I'll put my daughter on a medication, but if I can't get that medication, can I find the next best medication? And that's what we're doing. So we look around, we try to find the next best medication. So you get the referral from the doctor, and the physician says, here, go to this collective, which is people who grow and they put all their plants together and they make different strains or oils. And so we take the oil and we give it to Mallory. It shows up in the mail. Give it to her. Amazing results. We had her homeschooled. We were paying a private tutor to come in and do schooling because she had missed so much school from the seizures. So she's now back into school. She's more alert. People who saw her like on a once-a-week basis showed up to the house and said, "There's something different. I don't know what you're doing, but something's different." And there definitely was something different, and she's a different kid. It's like this kid is awake again. So when you buy this stuff, you buy it online or via phone call, and you really don't know the person, and you think it's tested because the label says it's tested, but you really don't know. Some medication in California came to a family, multiple families, that what's on the label is not close to what it was in there, and kids were getting high. The amount of THC was really high, and kids were being affected by it. That needs to change. So just because a bottle comes and has a label on it doesn't mean that's what's in it. And that's sad. The bottle comes without a seal on it. There's no factory thing on it. It's probably some guy in the back of some garage filling it up and putting some sticky on it, and there you go. Sadly, that's what it is. You can have it tested for $50. They'll come in, they'll test your medication. This little 1 or 2 ounce bottle, and that's how you know what's in it. Sadly, you're taking a bottle and giving it to your kid, which it could be almost anything in there. The liberals are no problem. The liberals are all over this marijuana thing, I think. The conservatives, like myself, at least look at least consider, at least read up on it before you have the stubbornness that I had for so many years to say that it doesn't work. It's to get high only. There is something there. I think the science is quite not there yet where we don't know the details of it. It may be 10, 20 years till we truly know. And some physicians won't listen to you unless there's some major study. But when it's your own kid, you want to wait 5, 10 years for the studies to come out, or you want your kid seized another 1,000 times that next 5, 10 years? For me, the answer was simple.